Hi, my name's Danny, and we're Books Are My Fandom, codenamed BAMF, and we are three international book-obsessed ladies. We love young adult fantasy, sci-fi, contemporaries, and so on. I am a South African living in the UK.
I'm Iris, and I'm from the Netherlands.
I'm Jamie, and I live in Canada.
About the show, this is the first in our series of BAMF reviews that we buddy read once a month, and then we talk about them.
So this month we chose to read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. It's a spin-off from the book Fangirl. The summary states that Simon Snow is the worst chosen one who's ever been chosen. That's what his roommate Baz says. And Baz might be evil and a vampire and a complete git, but he's probably right. Half the time, Simon can't even make his wand work, and the other half he sets him on fire. His mentor is avoiding him, his girlfriend broke up with him, and there's a magic-eating monster running around wearing Simon's face. Baz would be having a field day with all this if he were here. It's their last year at Watford School of Magics, and Simon's infuriating nemesis didn't even bother to show up. Carry On is a ghost story, a love story, a mystery, and a melodrama. It has just as much kissing and talking as you expect from a Rainbow Rowell story, but far, far more monsters.
Okay, actually, reading that last bit, I suddenly feel stupid for expecting it to be less contemporary when I started out. Okay.
But can I also be oh, Simon can't even make his wand work, so he should be able to make his wand work. I was right. Hi.
So, carrying on, who has read Fangirl?
Me.
Only you.
Yep.
What about who else has read books by Rainbow?
I have no
Me. I have Eleanor and Park. I still haven't read Attachments, and I haven't read Landline either. So, but Eleanor and Park and Fangirl is my jam. Love those books.
Okay, I've only read Eleanor and Park, and that was last year, and that was quite good. I really liked it.
I've read is the short story she wrote, Midnights, from My True Love Gave to Me.
What did we each think about it? So, Jamie, why don't you start? I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
I rated it 3.5 stars, but rounded up on Goodreads to 4. I always round up when I have half stars, Goodreads, half stars. But I liked it. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't the be-all, end-all of books like I had been hearing about. I think part of it might be that I was anticipating it to be more Harry Potter after I read the first couple chapters, and it wasn't enough for me to really connect with the characters. But other than that, it was okay.
Okay, I gave it 4.5 stars, and I really liked the book. I just think it was a bit confusing at some points, and I don't know. It was a fun read, but I can't really see it as anything more than just a fun read. I mean, it's not going to be one of my favorites, like Fangirl is.
I feel like, I don't know. I actually think I enjoyed it more than you guys did. But then I am a sucker for romance and stuff, so I got really caught up in the whole romance thing. And also, I laughed at all of the references to English places and food and so on, like Yorkshire pudding and numpties. Oh my god, they talked about numpties, and I call people numpties all the time. I'm like, you're such a numpty.
What's a
And
numpty?
now I'm like, okay, so now you're a troll that is never warm.
I think we can conclude from this that English people are weird. I like the romance as well. I didn't get all of the references, obviously, because I don't live in England. But I like the romance. I think that was the main part of the book. Is the fantasy was a bit of a parody, I guess.
My favorite part was all the parallels to Harry Potter. I caught them all because I like Harry Potter. Which is kind of an understatement.
Do you like Harry Potter? Because I was under the impression you like Draco more.
No, I like Luna the most. And I also ship Draco with Hermione. I also ship him with Harry. I really like Draco.
Uh,
I really like the map.
I was just about to say that. It's
but I
pretty.
love maps in general, even though I almost never do anything with it. But it's just pretty.
I also have the collector's edition of Fangirl right here. So hi, this is the characters.
Oh, there we go. What was our favorite thing as a group?
Baz.
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 I really like Baz.
Me too. Baz is awesome.
Even before he showed up, I liked him.
I was, until he showed up, I was kind of I don't really like this book that much. And then he showed up, I was like, meh, yay.
I loved how, even though Baz was, well, he wasn't at school, you know, he didn't show up, that Simon was just always looking around, was kind of afraid he was going to jump him or something, you know, he would just show up and do something or whatever. I love that. And then he did show up, and things got interesting.
And then Baz was playing that whole game where he was playing up whatever happened with Agatha, which was nothing. But
a handkerchief. There was lots happening.
It was a cross between being jealous and knowing that his relationship with Agatha wasn't really going anywhere, I guess.
Okay, can we quickly talk about Agatha? At first I was okay, I can kind of understand you, Agatha. Her whole, she had that one chapter where she's I don't know if this is it could be the best thing to happen to me, and I don't know if I should stay or if I should go or should I stay or should I? But she was saying how, what if this is it? What if this is what love feels like, and it's not this big fairy tale or something? I was that's possibly the most real, actually real idea about love, I think. Because books, the problem with books is that they, with movies, they always play up romance to be this really big magical thing, and then they never show you 6 months or a few years down the line where you're doing your boyfriend's laundry. Books, especially, so if you think about Twilight, for instance, so this is fandom that I might have gotten a bit too engrossed in high school, but this whole thing happened where people were I don't like my boyfriend because he doesn't sparkle. So
Did you say that? I'm sorry. Did people say that to you?
People wrote about it, and they were talking about it.
Is this for real?
Yes. Okay, and they were saying, they can't, their boyfriends can't live up to the standard, or guys were saying, we can't live up to the standard that is Edward Cullen and stuff to girls.
Yeah, thank you.
And books do that. So books and movies, they give you this idea of what love and romance and stuff is supposed to be. It's supposed to be this big, all-encompassing, consuming, passionate thing, and that's not realistic. And then with Agatha's doubts, I was starting to think that's actually a very real problem that people will have in relationships, figuring out what is love supposed to be like? What does it feel like? Is this all that's going to happen, or is this not real love? Or so I really liked that chapter from her. And then after that, I got really annoyed with her, and I wish she would go away.
No, first chapter Agatha with the, is this what I want? I kind of don't really like magic that much, blah, blah, blah. Great. And then the whole on the bluffs with the handkerchief thing happened, and I was like, oh, wait, what just happened here? Why is she in class?
I could relate how she wanted to be normal and everything, I guess. How, I thought that was great, but the rest of her personality was just meh. No.
She was just, I don't know. She was just kind of boring and She wanted to do. She just. In fact, he wanted to have such a normal life that she didn't want to be involved in any of the adventures.
Yeah, and then
She wanted to just hang out and watch movies and stuff. She didn't want to go and figure out how to stop the war.
Yep.
Which, like, I also kind of get. I feel like but to the point where, like, I don't know if I'd want to get involved with a war, but, like, I wouldn't want to just watch movies. I'd want to be like, let's make spells, you know, like.
Oh my god, I would so want to do that as well. In fact, that's kind of what I was thinking about while reading this.
Especially since it's, like, with these spells here, it's, like, you just use common catchphrases sort of thing. And, like, I was like, I could definitely make a spell. Like, I say things all the time.
And don't forget the slogans, like, have a break, have a Kit Kat. I love that one.
I mean, I was thinking, so happy birthday. Could you use happy birthday as a spell? And what would it do?
I don't know.
Would it be an aging spell? Could I make you age a year?
Then we could enter the Tri-Wizard Tournament! I have solved Fred and George's problem!
Oh my gosh.
I got these spells down, man. Like, I could be a wizard. No
I
problem.
could be a wizard.
You could take all of the nursery rhymes, so like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Did they use that? Was that in the thing?
They mentioned it. They
Yeah.
mentioned it.
They mentioned how nursery rhymes are really hard to use as spells, and that's why it was so, like, incredible that Baz could do it.
Wasn't it? Aren't they like really, really powerful?
Yes, yes.
So the nursery rhymes, because they're so ingrained in popular culture or in culture, they have so much power because everyone knows them.
So then wouldn't the same thing happen with Happy Birthday?
Yeah, exactly. So like, couldn't you age someone with happy birthday?
I feel like you could age someone to death.
Oh, Luke, that's your baby. Oh, wait. That was your baby. That's messed up.
Can you say look it up or Google it? You could have a spell called Google it.
And then you would know whatever your question is.
Oh my god, would that not be amazing? Hermione would approve.
They're a Dutch saying. Okay, let me think.
I think that was also something else I really liked, that you could do spells in different languages. And they meant different things.
Yeah, if you understood the language, yeah.
I liked how Baz could speak multiple languages.
And we're back at Baz.
See, like, okay, here's my thing now. I was, like, in love with Draco, but I wasn't in love with Baz. I just thought he was kind of cool.
See, I think this is in a way, your obsession with Draco has actually hindered your ability to enjoy the book.
Yes,
Probably.
I agree with that.
No, like, I think my obsession with Harry Potter made me not like the book. Because it was, like, Harry Potter, but not really. Like, not enough Harry Potter for me to like it.
Well, actually, that's what I struggled with in Fangirl, because I thought the little bits and pieces were interesting, but I never could, like, fully get into the fanfiction thing because I felt like it was so much like Harry Potter that, you know, what's the point? I already know a story like that, and that's Harry Potter, and I love Harry Potter, so... But...
I guess she couldn't actually straight out say that the fanfiction was about Harry Potter.
Right.
Okay. What did we think about the relationship? Do you think it was, well, first of all, did you know it was going to happen from the beginning?
Yes.
They're on the cover.
Oh, true. You see, they're making kissy faces at each other.
Did you not get that, did you?
Obviously,
I did not know that from the beginning.
And it was kind of obvious. I mean, the whole tension was there, I guess. It was there from the beginning. I mean, even when Baz is still not at the school, you know, Simon is completely obsessed with Baz.
I
So
think
you
kind of spoiled. Like, everybody knew. I don't know anybody who goes into it not knowing that they're going to get together.
yeah.
You didn't,
Yeah.
did you?
It's kind of hard to miss. Were you the only one that didn't realize?
I haven't read Fangirl, and I don't know.
Fangirl.
But I guess you knew ahead of time that it was supposed to be Draco and Harry fanfiction.
I didn't actually until I started reading. I was like, oh, this is Harry Potter. It wasn't
I
until
thought it was Harry Potter, and I was like, well, actually, I didn't even know that at the beginning. That was like what I think I read like the first few pages, and then I was like, oh, it's Harry Potter.
my first status update is like, oh, he wants to be a Beckham. But my first notes in my like journal that I used to take notes when I write reviews says this is very Harry Potter, and it's like after 2 lines.
Well, I think that's actually in my Fangirl review as well, because I talk about her fanfiction for a little while, and I remember not really liking it, not really being into it, because it was so Harry Potter. I think if this would have been like a story on its own, like not based on Harry Potter, like a story we all know and love that much, it would have been more fun to read. But right now, all we do is we kind of, like, in your head, you can't help but compare it to Harry Potter and what you already know from that series and what happened. So I think that kind of makes it, we kind of make it difficult for ourselves.
But I think that's the only reason it could work. Like, the only reason we could start with this book and not need all the rest is because we knew what happened in Harry Potter.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's, like, a lot of... If I would read this book and I didn't know Harry Potter, I would consider it, like, the beginning especially, I would consider it an info dump. Complete and utter info dump. Because you don't know anything about the world. I think the only reason, you can only read it if you know Harry Potter, basically. Going to be too confusing otherwise.
So there are kind of prerequisites to reading this. So some are more optional than others. So I guess it would help if you knew Fangirl. It definitely helps if you know Harry Potter. So it wouldn't really make sense if you hadn't read Harry Potter and if you didn't like Harry Potter.
Or at least
yeah. And also, I think the other thing that probably helps, I think, is living or knowing English culture. And again, that's more optional, but I think things might be missed by some people if they don't know about English culture, or it won't hit as hard. So when she talks about Yorkshire pudding, for example, I mean, do you guys know what Yorkshire pudding is?
Pudding?
Yes. I was nodding as I was speaking.
I know what pudding is. I don't know what's special about Yorkshire pudding.
So Yorkshire pudding is kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just amazing. But you have it with roast dinner, so you'll have like roast beef or roast chicken or something, and you'll have these sort of bread bowl type things. Basically, they're just bread bowls, and you have them with gravy and stuff, and they're so good, but they're a very British thing. So when he talks about how much he loves Yorkshire puddings, I'm like, yeah, me too. But if you don't know that, then you'll just be like, oh, okay, that's part of the world building. That's cool. So he likes Yorkshire puddings, whatever those are. But for me, I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on this.
I really like that, like, his list of things he likes about the school is, like, all food. He's like, I can list all food. I'm like, same.
So they say the school's in Watford. You know what's special about Watford? Watford is the location of the Warner Brothers studio tour. So it's the studio in which they filmed Harry Potter.
Damn.
That's in Watford.
That's pretty smart.
Okay, so what did we collectively dislike? So I think Iris mentioned she didn't like the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning was... I think it was just confusing. Like, even though I read Harry Potter, there were just, like, all kinds of, like, people and the humdrum. It was just kind of thrown in there. No introduction. And later on, it was explained. But in the beginning, I think about a few pages in, I was like, what am I reading? Seriously, what am I reading? I just had no idea what I was reading. And that bothered me a bit.
I think
Yeah,
made the,
go on.
I think until I made the connection that it was Harry Potter, I was like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. Like later on, when everything kind of came together, I guess, when you realized what you were reading, it became more fun to read. But before that, I think the book is kind of confusing.
I think I should have read the synopsis before I started reading the book. Like, I knew I read it like months before or something, but I didn't read it right before, so I forgot that there was going to be so much focus on his, or that Baz wasn't going to show up at first. So the whole like first 100+ pages is Simon going, "Where is Baz? Where's Baz? He's going to sneak up on me." And I was just going, what is happening? And I just had no idea what was going on. I didn't expect
Stop talking
it.
about Baz!
I'll admit the first 100 pages I was going, is he showing up yet? Nothing's happening. Where's Baz? Come on. And then he showed up and I was like, yes.
Baz! The party
And
can get
picked up.
started.
Yeah, it picked up so much after Baz showed up. It got a lot more
that's true.
interesting.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, it felt like she was more excited to write about Baz than everybody else, because Baz's chapters were the best. We
Okay,
all didn't like the ending, but so we didn't like the beginning and we didn't like the end, but we liked everything that happened with Baz in between.
Well, I didn't like not enjoy the whole ending. It was just parts of it, like the parts that were left unresolved that
Yeah.
bothered me.
in
Things
a
were
way,
introduced and they weren't even like, yeah, they were just there and they didn't really do anything with it, and that's what I had a problem with.
the thing about the beginning was almost too slow, and then the end was a bit too fast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Like-
kaboom, and everything happened.
Yeah.
It was done.
And
Yeah.
then things that had been raised previously just left out there.
The photograph. In this book, there's actually issues, like things that are questions that are raised, and there's an answer, but you don't really do anything with it, and that's annoying.
Yeah, so we all know, so all the readers know about this connection, this answer, this identity, whatever. And we're all left like, come on, reveal it, reveal it, reveal it. I want to see what happens when it's revealed.
Yeah, you want to
And
see
it
what
just-
it does to the character, and then
Never comes out.
yeah.
I think that's part of it too. That it felt like Simon's character wasn't completely fully developed because he didn't know this.
Yeah.
thing.
I was kind of waiting for that big reveal because I wanted to know how he would interpret that, I guess, how he would deal with that. And in the end, it just wasn't revealed at all. And yeah, no. I think that was a big part of the story, and it was in the end just left unresolved. That's not okay. Ugh.
Yeah. Building up to that point, I was really excited about, well, Baz and Simon. I got really caught up in those two, and then I was just like, eh.
Well, that's the reason why I liked it so much. Like, if you think about it, the story itself, the plot, and how it unfolds and everything, it wouldn't be a book I'd really love. Maybe I'd enjoy it, but there's just too many things that were left unresolved. But me too. I got caught up in the relationship, and that's why it worked for me, because I loved like their relationship and how it kind of unfolds.
Oh, one thing I did like, there was no militant homophobia. There were no characters that were like really, really strongly homophobic in the book. There were people that were kind of like annoyed that the two ended up together because it just went against 7 years of planning to destroy each other. But otherwise,
Yeah.
like there was none of this like, we should hide this from other people because otherwise they will, hate
But
us.
then
Or
yeah, but then again, I didn't think the book went that deep to explore something like that.
I thought Baz's dad didn't like it because he couldn't carry on the family name.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found it kind of refreshing to just have a gay couple and there was no big deal about it.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's not really realistic because, I mean, obviously, in real life, there are people that have an issue with it.
But isn't it kind of nice to see a world where it doesn't have it? And so in a way it sort of models what it should be like rather than showing what it would be like now.
For everything that she talked about, this book was too short, which at over 500 pages I can't say that, but there was stuff that needed to be developed that wasn't. And
yeah,
like a second book. Like I needed this to be like a duology.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
But at the same time, so there are books where they address these issues and they make a big deal about them, and you need those kinds of books. But then you also need books where these, in a way, it's nice to see it just showing up and nobody really caring about it as a big issue. They're not making a scene about it, and it's just, that's what it should be in real life. We shouldn't be like, oh my god, they're gay, or oh my god, they're in a wheelchair. What are their inner, deeper thoughts about this? How do they feel about this?
No, I definitely agree with that.
It's nice to just be like,
yeah,
they have a disability. They're getting on with it. They are carrying on.
I think our main problem was that like stuff needed to be developed more. Some stuff needed to be developed more, and even though it was an interesting book, it was a fun book to read. It just kind of stays on the surface, I guess. The photograph, like, if it got into the hands of Simon or Baz's hands, I guess, it would have revealed so much. And I kind of expected that to happen, but it never did. It was a bit disappointing, I guess.
Overall, what did we think?
Like, do we overall think everybody should buy it? Because no. Like, I would check this out from the library.
I think it was a fun read, most of all. It was enjoyable, it was a fun read, but beyond that, it wasn't a masterpiece or something. It was just fun to read.
It's also not a reread. It's like you read it once and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I don't know, I could read like certain bits between Baz and Simon again and again.
I'm gonna send you some fanfic and you'll be like, nah, it's okay.
Okay, I thought it was quite once you get past that initial like 100 pages and so, it was actually a very quick read for me. Like I kept wanting to read more and more.
Well, yeah.
It's quite easy. If you accept that it's sort of a parody of Harry Potter, I thought it was quite humorous in its way. I was like chuckling to myself while reading it.
Especially the spells. I thought the spells were awesome.
Yeah. I like that I have the book. I don't know if I'd reread it straight away, but I'd probably dip into bits, or I would dip into fanfiction. Check out our video next month on The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry, and that's all from us today. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.